Welcome to the show. It's Tea with P. DJ spinning tracks. Got that reggae spree. Tune in the dots. Let the vibes be free. Late night session. Sip that turbo key. Jamming on the electro. Sing it on the TNN. Hope you're feeling bright. Cause we got the vibe so grand. Get cozy on the wine. With tunes that you be man. Tea with Pizza Spot. The best in podcast land. Welcome to the show. It's Tea with P. DJ spinning tracks. Got that reggae spree. Tune in the dots. Let the vibes be free. Late night session. Sip that turbo key. Jamming on the electro. Sing it on the TNN. Hope you're feeling bright. Cause we got the vibe so grand. Get cozy on the wine. With tunes that you be man. Tea with Pizza Spot. The best in podcast land. Welcome back, it's an us to a cozy nook. Where the beats go like pages in a favorite book. Settling, feel the rhythm in every hook. Tonight's the night, let's dance and cook. You have a great time, make yourself at home. In this real big zone, where the melodies from. See with peace and legs out, where the music keeps you warm. Join the jam, find your peace in the storm. Welcome to the groove, it's Tea with P tonight. Feel the reggae flow, let it make the world right. Come and find your comfort, you meet the other strike. With every track we spin, you take you to new heights. It's a place to chill, with rhythms that enchant. Join us the moment, let's give you all the chance. Turn up the sweet serenades, let the music dance. Open up in my prayer time, I swear on in that chest. Welcome to the show, it's Tea with P. DJ spinning tracks, got that reggae spree. Tune in the dots, let the vibes be free. Late night session, sip that turbo key. Jamming on the electro, sing it on the TNN. Hope you're feeling bright, cause we got the vibe so grand. Get cozy on the wine, with tunes that you be man. Tea with Pizza Spot, the best in podcast land. Welcome to the show, it's Tea with P. DJ spinning tracks, got that reggae spree. Tune in the dots, let the vibes be free. Late night session, sip that turbo key. Jamming on the electro, sing it on the TNN. Hope you're feeling bright, cause we got the vibe so grand. Get cozy on the wine, with tunes that you be man. Tea with Pizza Spot, the best in podcast land. Hey, good night, host, it's time to unwind. Think favorite tracks, leave your stress behind. Welcome to the show, this hour is just for you. Tea with P's your proof, where dreams is getting new. Jamming on the electro, sing it on the TNN. Hope you're feeling bright, cause we got the vibe so grand. Get cozy on the wine, with tunes that you demand. Tea with P's the spot, leave your sweet podcast land.
If you're building living soil, Stash Base is your foundation. This is a premium dry soil amendment designed to build nutrient-dense media and support strong vegetative growth right from the jump.
Stash Base isn't just NPK. It's loaded with organic and mineral inputs like calcium phosphate, crustacean meal, kelp, insect frass, rock dust, and biochar. That means macros, micros, and biology all working together.
This is used to build soil and provide nutrition for plants in the vegetative stage. You can mix it into fresh soil, top dress, or side dress. It breaks down slowly with the help of microbes, feeding the soil over time. If you want healthy plants with easy feedings, it all starts with Stash Base.
Available here at Growers House.
I can't believe diamonds so pearls, and I'm gonna take you traveling the world. I'm gonna love you, babe. Cross my heart and hope to die.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Hope you guys are well. Hope you guys are warm, kicking it fly today, baby, because it's time for a little tea with P. And that means we're talking about all things nudes, culture, science, health, you name it, nothing is off the table. We have got a fantastic episode for you guys tonight. We're going to be talking about a few crazy topics that have hit the charts as of late. Matter of fact, we're going to be talking about the possibility of an executive order towards descheduling. Sounds crazy, sounds convenient. We're going to talk about it. Also, what about if I told you there was a state considering the ban of smell? The ban of the smell of weed, or banning the smell of weed, if somebody was going to say that in the most articulatable way possible. We got all that and so much more coming up, including Top Buds. My friend, Mr. R.O.B. CLTV is going to be joining me at the top of this hour for a little Top Buds. You're not going to want to miss that because it's conspiracies and all. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for a little tea with P. Mrs. P, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Fantastic. Ready for a banger of an epi. Look at this.
I always love me some Top Buds.
Love me some Top Buds. Yep, me too. Look, Sean's in the house. Double A's in the house. Turu is in the house. Night of Living Soil in the house. Double A, how you doing, brother? John is in the house. Tasty Genetics, what up? Good to see you, dude. AZ Homegrown, good evening, sir. Good evening. The Mafia Grow Show, welcome in. Dr. Rofflenstein, good to see you, friend. Chiho. Turkey Hunter, hello. Earthman, what up? Brady Gosnell, hello. I made a tea time. Yes, you did. Yes, you did, friend. Scott Williams is in the house. Secondhand ban. Yep. Can you believe it? I can't either, but we're going to talk about it. Dank Dad, hello. Shout out to Germany. Potato is in the house. Shout out to everybody who's joining in from Twitch. Shout out to the Twitch crew over at twitch.tv/pigeons420. We wanted to run a simul stream or a simulcast. We wanted to stream on both platforms at once, but we were having some technical difficulties, so we just did not. So, but if you want to catch a live stream at any time during the day, during the week, head on over to twitch.tv/pigeons420. Don't miss. Oh, always here for P Nudes. Love it, Sean. I'm glad to hear that. Brina's in the house too. B, good to see you. Roast is here. Pop 2 of my frosted socks. Let's go. People all over the world are growing frosted socks right now, it seems like, and they're having fantastic results. So I'm pretty excited about that. Third tea with P. Yo, Ty, thanks for joining, for making so many in a row, man. You're on. You can streak around here anytime, friend. Okay, bring that streak in. I-95 Blaze. Blacks, Blaze, Blah X, Blaze, Blacks, Blaze, 757. Good to see you, friend. What up? Good to see you, man. Ordered a VivoSun GIY 2x2 tent. They sent an A100. Shake my head. Okay, well, make sure you hit them up. I know they'll make that right. That sucks, though, for you. I'm assuming that's not as good. A100 is a light, is it not? I don't know. But it wasn't what you wanted, so make sure they square that up for you. I'm sure they will. John Lindsay's in the house growing some frosted socks as well. John, good to see you, friend. Smokey Joe tuning in from Virginia. Virginia is in the house. Virginia, good to see you. Virginia. Smokey Joe, good to see you from Virginia, man. Jungle is here too. Jungle, what up? Good to see you, brother. What is everybody smoking on tonight? I'd like to know, friends. I want to know. What are you all smoking on tonight? Tonight in my bowl is a little bit of Bubba Kush, giving me that fantastic under Kush and just ultimate vibes. Like it's like a powerful high right behind the eyes, and it just hits you like a freight train. But I won't glamorize it. What is it, Mrs. P?
Oh, nothing. I was just stretching.
Oh, I thought you were looking it up.
Sorry. Nope.
Nope.
Oh, the light. Yeah, it is a light.
Yeah. Ordered a tent, got a light.
Yeah,
interesting.
Very.
Well, hopefully you can keep the light and they send you the tent. Double A, good to see you, man. Georgia Pie, good, man. Red Hot Cookies, good to see you, Double A. Red Hot Cookies for Erec. Some sour livers, that's an interesting name for organics. Good to see you, dude. Never wins anything. 6-shooter auto. ADHD J in the house. Trike Beast by Soulfire Gardens. Hell yeah, shout out to Soulfire. There's Chaotic Genetics. What do you think of my hat, dude? What do you think of my hat, brother?
Still hasn't taken it off.
I sleep in this, dude. I sleep in it, dude. It fits very well. Great hat. Lots of compliments on my hat, by the way. Shout out to Chaotic Genetics. Little Otto's smoking some Super Sherb. Okay. Smoking some Super Sherb. Nug Shrub, 2B Blunt. You smoking 2B Blunt? Shout out to the 2B Blunt boys. I've been on that show. It was a fantastic time. They run a hell of a show over there. They're very charismatic fellers, and they know how to provide somebody a good time. Fool Next Door. Hello. Charles is in the house. Charles says E. Good. The Hot Shot. Smash that like button. Yeah, if you guys would be oh so kind to smoke that like button for me, it does me wonders. Okay, it does me wonders. Not only does it indicate that we enjoy the show, however, it also shows YouTube that this is a live stream that people are enjoying, and it kind of boosts it and sends it to the most amount of people. Okay, so I appreciate you guys because you're tuning in to one of the most shadow banned channels in our space. And you know what we do about it? Nothing. We keep on pushing, baby, because we believe in this community, and more importantly, we believe in this plant. Okay, so thank you to ADHDJ for the gift, the gifted membership, man. Hash Phantom receives a gifted membership from ADHDJ. Appreciate you, man. ADHDJ. Members have access to content around here first. I release content. Usually I'm done my edits relatively early in the morning, so I will post them to memberships for the entire day, and then I will post it to the general public in the evenings or the next day. So you have access to content before anybody else, and you get to be highlighted in the chat with a very special color too. So you get that's kind of cool, isn't it? That's like cool stuff, right? Miss P not happy with my autofocus? Just put the white box on my face, mate. It's because it's just over here. There you go. You got her. Yo, shout out to Bearded Assassin, man. Yo, Lieutenant is in the building. Lieutenant, good to see you, friend. Hope you are well and warm. Kicking it fly, dude. Grow, Ohio. What up, dude? From Northeast Ohio. Let's go. Blueberry Snossage for John. Let's go. John K. Miller. Kyle Miller. John Camilla. John Camiller. Appreciate it. What? We got a super chat too. 99 cents with no comment whatsoever. Rick Chaos. Thank you, man. Thank you for the 99 cents. Thank you for supporting the show. I appreciate it. I want you to know that all the funds and all the support that comes into the show, Mrs. P and I try to turn that right back around into the show, the production of the place. That's why it looks so wonderful around here, guys. It's because of you. And we just pump that right back in. So thank you guys so much. What's your favorite strain, Mr. P? You know what? I'm kind of old school, dude. I got a ton of favorite strains, but one that hits home all the time, it's either like I'd love to say a GMO, but that's like one that I've like recently discovered that I absolutely love. But it kind of balances between like a Holland's Hope or a Green Crack, man. I'm kind of old school, dude. And Holland's Hope by Susie Seeds is one of my all-time favorites, dude.
You've grown that a few times.
Yeah, I have. And in fact, Chaotic Genetics got his hands on it, and he also has put it through the ringer. So yeah, great smoke. Peanut Butter Breath is wonderful. GMO is one that I've recently discovered that I know if someone asks me, hey, Pigeons, you want a toke? And they're like, and I say, what is it? And they say GMO, I'm in every time because I know it's going to be fantastic. So that's kind of where I'm at. All right. Holland's Hope for the win. Chaotic knows. Yep. Chaotic knows. Ladies and gentlemen, I wanted to mention one thing too. Should for whatever reason you happen to miss the show, I've been posting the stories and the best clips over on Tokes and Trends, Daily Tokes and Trends. That is the other channel that I have, one of like 8 that I have, where I am specifically just posting the stories and the clippables of Tea with P. So if you miss anything, or if you're working, you don't want to watch a 2-hour plus live stream to catch some nudes, and you just want to catch what's hot, head on over to Tokes and Trends. We recently just crossed 400 subscribers, friends. So thank you very much for being there, and I appreciate that. If you guys are always here for tea and you don't need the shorts, don't worry about it. I appreciate you guys. But do me one favor, smoke that like button while I for medicinal and documentary reasons, I'm going to pack this. I'm not going to say pack anymore because I feel like that's a very censored word. I am going to load the bowl. I don't know what I was gonna say. I really don't know what we're supposed to swish it to. You know.
I'll have to pull a thesaurus out. And start
Yeah, pull
picking
out the old
different words.
thesaurus. Just subbed. Thanks, mechanic. I appreciate that. GMOs acquired terps, and I love it. Yeah, it is definitely a nasty. Like if someone's trying to give me, like when I'm trying to describe gassy kind of raunchy weed, GMO is kind of my go-to description. It's like a GMO, you know. It's just that nasty. Ugh, I love it. Just subbed. Yo, John, thanks, man. Appreciate that. And LJ, let's go, man, with his own membership, bro. Thank you very much for joining the flock, dude. Welcome in. Prepare to fly high, brother. So, here we are, ladies and gentlemen. Let's send some clouds skyward. Cheers. Oh, yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let's dive in to the news. Canna News. All things culture, science, and health. Your one-stop shop for all things Canna News. Ladies and gentlemen, this show is built on the backbone of nudes, culture, science, and health of our cannabis space. I like to have conversation. I think conversation is the cornerstone, the foundation of cannabis awareness. The more people talking about it, the more awareness we can spread, the more we break through the stigma and the stereotypes that have been put forth by the powers that be. If for whatever reason you can't tune into a show, or I miss your comments, because look at this guy, look at this. LJ's throwing 5 memberships, and I missed it. Why? Because I'm an asshole. No, the reality is that if I miss a comment of yours, and you want to have your comments read, or you want me to see a story or a topic, hit me up on X, guys. Hit me up at Pigeons420. You can hit me up and say, hey, check this story out. I get it all the time. And thankfully, because of you guys, I'm able to find stories that otherwise wouldn't have landed on my radar. But before I go too much farther, LJ Jones with the 5 gifted memberships. Dude, seriously? That's epic, brother. Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much. Much love, dude. LJ just throwing it, man. Thank you, dude. Seriously, man, from the bottom of my heart. Thanks for supporting the cause, bro. What an asshole, right, B? Right, B? So, the thing we're going to be, the things that we've got on the radar today is a hot topic, is a big topic, as a matter of fact, and it's in my opinion a hot topic for a number of reasons. Can't find my mouse. There we go. And I want to talk about all those reasons. But before I get too far into those reasons, I really just want to read the article first, and then I will break it down. So let's get into the first story of descheduling and another executive order. So according to the Marijuana Herald, the president is planning to sign an executive order this summer, creating a federal commission to study the descheduling of cannabis, according to 2 sources who spoke with the Marijuana Herald. The move is expected to be made ahead of the November midterms. One of the sources is a longtime senior advisor to the president, who said the commission would consist of around a dozen members and would be tasked with examining the potential ramifications of removing cannabis from the Federal Controlled Substance Act entirely. According to the advisor, the commission would then provide a formal report to both the president and Congress within 6 months of its formation. The report would examine the, quote, legal, economic, regulatory, and public safety implications of such a move before issuing recommendation. So we continue. Notably, the senior advisor is the same source who told the Herald last summer that Trump was 100% going to sign a rescheduling executive order towards cannabis, which the president ultimately did last December. The advisor also informed the Marijuana Herald last year of the planned commission, with the new information indicating those plans remain intact. The Herald also confirmed the reports with a secondary source, a former member of Congress who remains close to the president. if the information, proves accurate, this indicates the White House is planning a broader review of federal marijuana policy than rescheduling alone. While rescheduling will move cannabis to a less restrictive category under federal law, descheduling would remove it from the Controlled Substance Act altogether, effectively ending federal cannabis prohibition. A commission-based approach would also give the administration a way to place marijuana reform squarely on the national agenda ahead of the midterms, while postponing final recommendations until 2027. The news comes as the cannabis community and the general public continue to wait a final rescheduling order. Now, there's a few points in this article that are very important to consider because, well, we haven't even seen rescheduling happen yet. We've seen an executive order. We have not seen anything since. So, has cannabis been rescheduled? Nope. And now we hear about the potential of putting a commission together to study the potential of descheduling altogether. I think to some, this would be a moment to rejoice. This would be a moment to get excited about. But to me, and I'm sure many others, this poses more questions than I had before I heard the potential of a descheduling executive order. Why would we consider descheduling before, after an executive order to reschedule, but yet before rescheduling has actually happened? Why are we hearing about descheduling now? Also makes me ask, why would we start with rescheduling and just not move to descheduling altogether? If the ultimate plan is to deschedule this plant, then why don't we deschedule and just skip the entire rescheduling process, which is only going to cost more time, effort, and energy and money anyways? Then I read that it's not expected to happen until the midterms. Before the midterms. Well, shit. Isn't that convenient? Right before an election, we're going to have the potential of another cheese placed in front of the voters' face to say, hey, look, remember that cannabis thing that you guys are really excited for that we promised 6 years ago? Well, guess what? It's almost coming. And you know what that does when the administration or the government just hangs that cheese in front of us? We get excited. And what happens when we get excited? We start spending money. Stocks go up. People get rich. But yet, what happens in regards to the actual rescheduling or descheduling of cannabis? Absolutely nothing. So it's like, it makes me ask, are we just doing this for short-term benefit so that we can boost the economy, so we can boost the stock market to think green for just a little bit? Or is this legitimate? Is this an actual move to... No, we're not going to do descheduling first because we need to study descheduling. What would that do? Not that would, I don't know, make any more sense, but the reality is that I really feel like this is just another trope. This is just another ploy to distract the common people from what's really happening on the main stage. What's really happening that they don't want us to see. So we bring up the weed again. We bring up the distraction, the smoke and mirrors to get them really excited, and then we pull the rug. What do you guys think? I pose the question to you. Are you excited about the potential of a descheduling? And if these sources are right, as they were with the rescheduling, it's like there is something to look forward to. There could be a potential for a descheduling on the horizon. Just seems very convenient that these sources would drop this information. Did you guys know that the president back in the 90s used to call low-key genius, but he used to call the local newspaper on behalf of his own assistant. He used to call to be some fake publicist that would say, hey, did you know I got the latest scoop on Trump? And then they would post that news. But guess what? Did you know that publicist was Trump himself? Did you know that? That's a real thing. It's been recorded and documented. And so it's like, it would make perfect sense it's low-key genius, because then you pay nothing for a publicist but get the full benefit. However, it's like, would it not be too much to assume that literally we're just pushing sources to stimulate the market to get people to spend money so that there's just some temporary boost? Is that a reasonable assumption? What do you think? I'm curious because there's a lot growing on behind the scenes in all facets, and it's very convenient that all of a sudden, out of the blue, before rescheduling even happens, we hear about descheduling. I would wager to look at the stock market and see when we had the executive order for rescheduling. I know that boosted the stock market. Well, I'd be curious over the course of the last couple months if it probably hasn't gone up. Fairly reasonable to assume that the stock market has either plateaued or gone down since the rescheduling, which was a pretty hot topic. So has it gone down enough that we need to boost it up again? I'm curious your input, guys. Curious your input. Of course, everything is on the table here. There's nothing that we want to shy away from in regards to conversation. I think that's the best way to hold these conversations. And at the top of this hour, I'm going to sit down with Mr. ROB CLTV, and we're going to top of the next hour. Oh, the bottom is the top. Mrs. P tries to teach me this every single time I say this. And she's a little over here. She's like, no.
The top of the hour is when the hour starts.
In 30 minutes, I'm going to be sitting down with Mom. Okay? And we're going to be diving into all the things that could or could not be crazy in the world of weed. But I ask you too, what do you guys think? What do you think? Are you excited about a rescheduling, or is this just another ploy, man? Is this just another way to get us excited over nothing? What do you think? Now, I alluded to this earlier, ladies and gentlemen, about the idea of banning the smell of weed. If you guys tuned in, I had an episode with Mr. Matt from I Can THC, my guy. We had an episode of Legal News, little Matt and P, and we broke down our opinions on this excessive smoke ban that is potential in Arizona. And man, I wanted to talk about this one because this one is one where I'm like, I would love to know who gets this job. So according to the Marijuana Moment, ladies and gentlemen, Arizona lawmakers advance bill to punish people over excessive cannabis odor or smoke. Yeah. So Arizona House lawmakers will approve a Senate-passed bill to penalize people who create excessive amounts of marijuana smoke or odor, a policy that faced criticism from advocates who say the proposal amounts to overreach that undermines the legislative law voters enacted. The legislation from Senator J.D. Mesnard, which cleared the Senate earlier this month after being significantly amended, advanced through the House Judiciary Committee in an 8-1 vote on Wednesday. Members took public testimony on the proposal, with advocates representing organizations such as Arizona NORML and the ACLU of Arizona arguing against the legislation. Julie Ganingle, that's a cute one, an attorney and state director of Arizona NORML, speaking on her own behalf, said the legislation effectively disenfranchises all of our patients who need to consume but can't consume inside their own homes because they rent. Kaningle said she might have previously been sympathetic to arguments that patients could choose a different method of consumption that didn't involve smoking to avoid the issue, but she's come to an understanding that there's science behind the individualized efficacy of different types of products. And, quote, someone's ability to smoke and consume is a decision that is made in consultation, typically with doctors, pursuant to a whole range of different ailments. So, what do you think in regards to the overreach of your government? Do you feel, and I kind of want to play a hypothetical on this because, I feel like there could be a scenario where maybe it's not a great idea. Let's say you have a day. Let's say you have a daycare, and on the street you have. I perhaps should have thought of this before I actually put a hypothetical out there because I'm already finding holes in it. What if you have a dispensary lounge right next door? Now, see, here I am. Okay. I'm trying to think of a hypothetical where this is actually somewhat legitimate, where the smell could be overwhelming so much that affects somebody's health. Hospitals. Well, you shouldn't smoke on a hospital anyways, but you should be able to have space to consume somewhere in a hospital. So again, how in any way can we really see this as anything other than overreach? Who, by our government, who is going to police this? And what do you think? Are we going to have another excuse for the government to tax us, to essentially give us a bill in the mail, like a fine, because we smoked somewhere and it was smelt, and then we now have to pay money? This is another taxation of the people. It seems as if you're really limiting people on their ability to consume medication. And with that being said, I feel that we also need to take non-consumers into consideration. So what if you have somebody that doesn't consume, or let's say you've got somebody who's maybe, susceptible to cannabis smoke or something? Should there be places that they can go that they don't have to be inundated by smoking, right? If everyone has the ability to and free right to smoke weed or smoke cigarettes going up and down sidewalks, what about those that don't smoke weed or consume cigarettes going up and down sidewalks? Should they have to be put up with it? Or should there be an area where people are free to not consume secondhand smoke? It's a question.
Within the first or the 15 feet of the doors of a business, right? You can't smoke cigarettes within 15 feet of the doors.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense that you can't consume cannabis there either. There's your breathable space.
Right. How do you get to that space? What
Fair.
if...
Is there going to be hordes of people
we do
surrounding that 15 feet that are smoking?
You and I live in a very underpopulated area.
I guess.
And there are places like Tokyo or New York City or LA where that kind of hustle and bustle does exist.
I guess.
That there's people that do commute to work via sidewalk, walking.
But then
what if 49% of the people walking consume weed? Let's not say the majority. Should the people that don't smoke have to put up with that too?
But if you're going to make that stance about cannabis, it needs to be made about cigarettes.
Oh,
too.
I agree.
And further than that, past the smoke, the smell of the plant?
Yeah, so they do the excessive cannabis odor or smoke, the article says. So
what does the smell of the plant hurt anybody? Some people don't like it, sure, but are you going to kill all the skunks in the world because people don't like the smell?
Or how about the hog barns?
Right?
We live next to hog barns, or how I used to, and you hit one of those in a late August afternoon.
Right? We also live near an ammonia plant.
Mm-hmm.
That's an awful smell.
Yeah.
But guess what? It's necessary.
Gotta consume it.
So it's just, I don't know.
Chaotic says I have to put up with BO and perfume.
BO is a huge thing these days. I cannot stand going in public because of it.
But should it be banned?
I think
Yes,
public personal hygiene
should be enforced.
should be enforced.
Sure, but then is that not overreach too? If I don't want to take a bath, fuck you.
I guess. And but you know what? I don't complain about it. I complain to you.
The BO.
Yeah.
Uh,
I don't go find a manager or a police officer
No.
or a politician and say, "Oh my God, the BO is so bad walking around the city."
yeah, I just
You-
avoid Tim Hortons altogether.
It's not the only place. It's literally everywhere now, though.
Wash your ass. Yeah, it's a tough question. It's a tough question, and either way you kind of shape it. I think it's important to understand that we, as a human race, have to live as a community. Those that choose not to live in the middle of nowhere, like such as myself, small populations. However, those that live in larger communities kind of have to understand that there's got to be some compromise that happens between those that consume and those that don't consume. For our children too. I don't think children should have to put up with secondhand smoke. Should we be token up, have 420 rallies outside of elementary schools?
No.
Maybe not, right? Maybe not. I think we can all understand that. But should there be a law? Should there be a law against that?
Okay, so to be fair on that note, here, when you file your permit to grow, it does stipulate that you have to be X number of feet away from a facility frequented by minors. So a school, a daycare, it listed a couple other things. I can't remember what they are. But if you're within a certain distance from those things, you cannot have a permit to grow outdoors. I can understand that. I can.
Now, okay. Should that be a law? Or should that just be what we enforce as a community as standard norms?
As somebody who respects my community,
See, yeah, we would make a move on our own.
I wouldn't do it anyway.
Now, like, because like personally, if I'm consuming anything, the odd time I've had a cigarette outside, I move away from people.
Yeah.
If I'm going to consume, I'm not going to consume as I'm right next to people. I think that's personally disrespectful. So,
especially non-smokers. If you're with a bunch of other smokers, I mean, have at it.
Sure. But if, I try to go off in my own area and consume, I go to the car or what have you and do it there. And that's kind of where I keep it. So
is that the difference, though, is that people nowadays are just losing that respect? People just don't have that respect for other people anymore?
It's easy to say yes. I would argue that, yeah, it's easy to say yes. But no, it's not that respect isn't there. I just don't believe that it's a norm that we practice. The thing is like, when I talk to my good friend, Mr. Swank went to Japan. And one of his favorite things about Japan was the fact that the people there are so communal in nature. If you go up an escalator, this was one of his examples. You go up an escalator, people will naturally, there's no law, at least not that he's aware of, that tells people how to do it. It's a norm for people that are going up the escalator. If you choose to stand and wait for the escalator to go up, you go on the right-hand side of the up escalator. Why do you do that? As I'm sure you guys are figuring out, so that the other people that want to walk up an escalator, someone like myself, I don't wait, I walk up an escalator, they can pass you on their left. Now, that might be crazy enough, but if somebody who was not walking up the escalator was standing in the middle of the escalator, the person that was walking up the escalator will not ask the person in front of him to move because he does not want to disturb their being. They're not going to disrupt you. They're in their own space. You're in your own space. And so they will disrupt their own life to ensure that they don't disrupt your life. And so what the relevance to this is that it's just a cultural norm to work together. Don't impede, just be nice kind of thing. And I'm not too familiar with Japanese culture, so I don't really know how it all works behind the scenes. But the way he described that to me made sense to me that's how I would assume the same thing for cannabis. It starts with children, starts with parents, I guess, teaching children how to accept the different norms and traditions within a culture or society. Whether you agree with it or not, you have to teach them how to take that on. And so I feel like when it comes to cannabis, that's how we steer the conversation and direction is towards open conversation and establishment of norms and traditions.
I feel like we have those things too. You and I talk about it all the time whenever we go to the mall, is that like it's the unwritten rule that you walk on the right side, right?
Yeah.
So that you're not walking against the flow of people. Now, not everybody does this, but if you go to a mall, at least here, generally speaking, I don't know if it's the same in the States or anywhere else, but if you look at the majority of people, they're all walking in the same direction on one side, and if they're going the other direction, they're on the opposite hallway.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's a steady flow.
There doesn't need to be a law for that.
No, but that's something that we teach little P, because when we're at the mall and I go, okay, we're walking with the flow of people. This is just the easier way to do it. Get used to it.
Yep. Yep. It's not a law to look left and right when you head out into traffic either, but it's just good practice. So I think that's kind of where we can chalk it up, is trying to find a good common practice for everybody, but it doesn't require government. What the fuck does government know about smell and understanding who? No. Get them out of this. Get them out of this conversation altogether. It comes down to people, communities, takes a village, right? So in Puerto Rico, this is
I was just going to say, I just read that.
Go ahead, you can read it.
In Puerto Rico, there is no public smoking allowed anywhere on the island, but dispos are everywhere, and it's so much cheaper. You can buy grams for $1, and the fire shit is like $10 an eighth. That's crazy. So just cannabis or cigarettes?
Yeah, I would, you know what? What do you think? What does the flock think about in regards to banning public, again, not banning, but making it socially unacceptable, thank you, to consume in public? Now,
I think if you're going to do that, you do it with smoking too.
Oh, I agree.
Cigarettes.
Agreed. No, I agreed. Let's assume that we've already done. Let's just assume no smoking at all. Cigarettes are already going to be. Yeah. Let's assume like we've already made the change for cigarettes, because like it shouldn't be the way it is right now with cigarettes, in terms of how much control the government has. If somebody wants to consume a cigarette, great, and that's on them. No, nobody else. But let's assume that we've already figured that one out. It's just cannabis. What about if we're on a beach? Should there be a smoking section on the beach, or should you just be able to smoke on your towel? The smoking section is on your towel.
You know,
Big screen?
I don't know. When we go to the beach, I can respect the fact that they don't want people smoking on the beach. Mainly because the beaches that we go to are very well kept. The sand is very nice. They spend a lot of time and money making sure that it's really nice for people. And you don't want people, because inevitably people are going to throw butts and roaches and whatever in the sand.
Again, which should also be socially unacceptable.
Absolutely.
Like a roach is a little different because it doesn't have a piece of cotton in it, synthetic cotton. However, it's still, I would argue that it's still,
littering.
It's not hygienic. Yeah, it's littering.
At the end of the day, it's littering. But so then I feel like you and I have talked about this. I feel like it's on those. I'm going to say businesses. A beach isn't a business, but on those people that run it to provide ashtrays in the areas where you would like people to go to smoke. We've talked about this at hockey rinks many times, where you're not allowed to smoke within 15 feet of the door, but the ashtrays are right next to the door. So inevitably people smoke right next to the ashtrays.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you can guide people that way.
I think so. Yeah, we're like cattle. We can be herded.
You have to provide an area so that people don't just go all over the place.
Back in like what, the 1800s, The businesses and the towns used to provide spittoons.
Ugh.
For those that don't know, it used to be a bucket
Yeah.
that people could spit into, a public bucket people could spit into it. I'm sure most people are familiar with this, but it's a thing. It was a real thing. People used to, and it became an issue because, well, with people's spit comes bacteria and disease. And so you had these buckets of disease just sitting there. And so it was just a regular thing for people to spit in a bucket. Over time, you had to break the habit when we got rid of the buckets to not spit in the bucket. And now people just spit everywhere. And, it's like, how much was the world? And I would argue now people are spitting less because they're not everybody's chewing tobacco and so on and so forth. And as much as they perhaps were, people in general are consuming less tobacco than we were back then as a mass, relatively speaking. But we changed the norm. We honed it in. Okay, well, if you're going to spit your tobacco, or if you're going to chew tobacco, you've got to carry your own little bottle. When I used to chew tobacco, I used to have a bottle, a little pop bottle. Typically, it was a Sprite bottle, and I would just spit in it. It was nasty as shit, but that's what you did. That's what you did. And so there was no public spittoon. We just changed the norm. We got used to a different way. Cannabis can be the same way. I think we can still provide people with an area, a safe public area to consume without allowing people to consume everywhere. I do feel like there should be a happy balance, a happy medium before we go to an extreme of just banning it. There has to be a happy medium between all out smoking and full ban smoking, right?
And again, I think a lot of that comes down to people respecting other people and just using common sense.
Mm-hmm.
If you're somewhere where there's a whole bunch of people not smoking or a bunch of kids or whatever, step away.
Yeah.
Don't light one up right there.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Don't be an asshole. Okay. See what I did there? Made that up all by myself. But what do you guys think? Where's the happy medium? I know there's absolutists out there that say you should just be able to smoke everywhere. Forget about it. But what do other people think?
And again, I can get on board with the smoking anywhere as long as you do it respectfully. Clean up after yourself. Don't blow smoke in people's faces. Don't light up right next to somebody that you know doesn't smoke. It's just common courtesy.
Mm-hmm.
It's being lost these days.
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't think that it's actually being lost. I just feel like we're not having these conversations because we're facing such extreme prohibition, and that we're not having the right conversation. We're talking about an executive order at the end of the year before an election, instead of having a conversation about, well, how should we be consuming in public? I think that's a reasonable conversation to have. And I think whatever we feel is you answer you have, or whatever you bring to the table here, I'm talking to you, Flock, is I think an reasonable answer. Whether even if you're in favor of a full ban, which I can't see many people to be in fairness or in support of, because that lawmakers are passing this with ulterior motives and outside pressure or outside incentive. But what do we think is the right balance? These are the conversations to be having.
And have them with your kids.
Have them with your kids. That's a very good point.
Because I think there was a gap in generations where those things were not talked about and those things were not taught. I was taught as a kid to respect others, respect other people's space. We teach little P that. I feel like everybody in between didn't get taught that.
Yep. Pull your mic a little closer.
Sorry.
There you go. Fist away. That's the rule.
I don't like to feel like I'm eating it because then I feel like I'm too loud.
No, people want to hear you. You make good points. You make good points so people enjoy it.
No, I feel like younger people in between our generation and Little P's generation just weren't taught a lot of those things by their parents, that they just don't know. They just don't know to be respectful and to think of others and not just themselves.
Mm-hmm. Yep, agreed. Agreed. And have the conversation with your loved ones too, because that's important. That's important too. The hotshot says, agree with Mrs. P. It's being lost. The decency, respect from first skunk.
I think if we get
Fire skunk.
if we pay attention and we get that back, then maybe the government will back off because
Yeah.
they'll see that we can do it ourselves.
Yep. Yeah, they won't because we don't pay them enough.
I know, but
But the hope is there. The hope is there, right? And you know, I'm enthusiastic that we can talk about it because we will find the right answers. So, couple hot shots, guys, because in about 9 minutes at the bottom top hour, we're going to be talking to Mr. ROBCLTV, my guy, my knight in shining armor, about all things top buds, baby. Yeah, we got some great conversation topics to dive into, and you're not going to want to miss this because you know Mr. ROB and I talk a lot of shit when we get together, and today will be no different. So don't tap off. Don't get off. Well, get off. That's fine. Just don't leave. Just look me in the eye. Okay? All right. Couple things I wanted to discuss, couple hot items, couple quickies that I wanted to discuss is hitting us. This is on behalf of Marijuana Moment. Ohio breweries push lawmakers to override governor's veto that banned hemp THC drinks last week. That's right. The breweries are pushing lawmakers to change their thoughts. A coalition of Ohio brewers are rallying residents to put pressure on their lawmakers to override the governor and give business until the end give business until the end of the year to keep selling hemp-derived THC beverages as the legislature intended when they delivered a cannabis bill to his desk. I did not articulate that very well. However, it's happening. The White House and the Senate passed legislation last year to effectively ban the consumable cannabinoid market. It was sent to Governor Mike DeWine with language that would have carved out a temporary exemption for hemp beverages, making it so those products could continue to be sold through the end of 2026. But when the governor signed SB 56, which also placed new restrictions on the state's voter-approved marijuana law, he used his power to line item veto the cannabis drinks provision. Consequently, all hemp THC products, including beverages, are unlawful to market in Ohio as of last week. Now, breweries across the state, including those that incorporated hemp drinks into their menu, are hoping to get lawmakers to override the veto. Quote, we've been working with our politicians over the past months and thought we had a really good, solid bill that was safe, that was endorsed by many on both sides of the aisle. And unfortunately, that went to veto by the governor. Brent Zimmerman, CEO of Saucy Brew Works, said in a video on Tuesday, quote, so I'm here today pleading that you all can help us. So, why would the government, why would breweries want to see hemp beverages approved and kind of left out of this bill? Money, money, money. And I think it's a pretty straightforward case in regards to why they want to see this. It's money, it's profit. They've got drinks, they're on market, now they're being banned. But I want to be honest with you guys. Remember, having cannabis overtaken by big alcohol is a double-edged sword. Obviously, it's bad. Who wants big alcohol taking over cannabis in any form or fashion? Not I. However, on the other side of that knife is the fact that there are resources that the alcohol industry have that we simply do not. When the alcohol industry of all sorts starts to tighten the noose around the money and the support that could be going to politicians, that's when we're going to start to see politicians wavering on their support for cannabis prohibition. We need these kind of moves. Unfortunately, we do. we can't do it on our own, because big alcohol, big pharma, big tobacco, when they kind of want in, they're going to get in whether we like it or not. It's how can we extrapolate as many resources from those companies and industries as possible in our advantage. And then you got to kind of deal with that demon later, right? But when it comes to trying to get THC, hemp, beverages vetoed and allowed to pass through, we got to support that. We got to support that. That's kind of like one of those things where it's like there's the devil you know and the devil you don't. I'm going to go with the devil I know, because who knows what comes with the devil I don't. What do you guys think about that? That's my opinion. Shout out to those in Ohio that are taking this to the protest. So here's something I want to talk about too. Delaware House Committee approves bill to allow medical cannabis use in hospitals for terminally ill patients. This one's kind of sad as a whole, but a Delaware House Committee has unanimously approved a Senate bill that would allow terminally ill patients to use medicinal cannabis in hospitals. About 2 weeks after the legislation from Senator Marie Pinckney advanced through the Senate, members of the House Health and Human Development Committee cleared it in a 9-0 vote on Wednesday. There was limited public testimony on the measure, which is being carried in the House by Republican Camilla Smith. A representative of the Delaware Healthcare Association spoke in favor of the bill's intent, while specifically applauding revisions made in the Senate to address, quote, operational and compliance challenges its members had raised. I think what's really actually sad here is that it takes you to be terminally ill to get access to medicinal cannabis in a hospital. I think that's the saddest part of this story. I want to say, hey, yay, people who are on their very last leg of life can have something that's going to relieve them. It's like, yeah, there's some joy in that. But it's like we are literally fighting for people who are on their last leg to have access to medicinal cannabis in a hospital. It is worth rejoicing for, but at the same time, it's just a sad thing that we give people who are on death row in prison a final meal of their choice. You might be thinking, oh shit, Pigeons, what does a final meal of their choice have to do with a terminally ill patient having access to smoking weed? Why do we give anything to an inmate? I think they should be fortunate enough to have any food at all, especially if you're on death row. In fact, I'm not even sure why we feed you at all. But I maybe that's a pretty harsh opinion. The reality is that we cater to prisoners. The very least we could do is cater to those that are terminally ill. Like, come on, man. I don't know what else we should be able. What else we should be asking for. So, what do you think about that? What do you think about that? And maybe this consumption has to happen in a hospital. Well, let's make a room that it can happen in. Let's get some high ventilation going. Let's get that shit circulating outside. Let's make it so these people can be comfortable. And if consuming cannabis in a smoking form is something that they need to do, then let them have it, man. Let them have it. And if they got to do it indoors, then let's accommodate that. That's a no-brainer to me, in my opinion. I just jumped to that. But maybe there's more to it that you guys see that I don't, or that we could be enlightened to. But the way I would grab some crab legs and shrimp for my last meal. No. A seafood bowl. A seafood bowl.
Fuck yeah.
Bowl. Yeah. Okay, not me. I will try it though. I do. When we can do it at home. In the backyard in front of nobody.
When you go somewhere for a seafood boil, it is normal that people eat with their hands. And I know that you have a hard time with that.
Yep.
But it's okay.
But I'd have to be in a room all by myself with just us.
Okay, I will reserve a restaurant.
Barely just us, because like watching you guys eat with your hands could be too much for me. You guys are better at it than me.
Lil P and I had a blast when Grandma took us.
I can't watch people eat. Ladies and gentlemen, I am very, very excited to get on to our next segment, a little top buds. Oh boy, if you guys recall, we had a show called Top Buds a couple years ago. Mr. ROB, CLTV, and myself talking all kinds of crazy, and we figure, well, what time better than now? So we're gonna be jumping into a little top buds right now.
Let's go.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Welcome to a segment of Top Buds. Mr. ROB CLTV, how you doing, brother?
Hello, sir. How are you doing this evening?
I'm doing fantastic, dude. Fantastic. Thank you for joining me. This, I feel, is always necessary.
Yeah, no, 100%, dude. I feel like we talk too much shit offline. We haven't in a while.
We
Or
have
online. Well, no, we do on your Twitch. Very cancelable shit on your Twitch.
from time to time. Yeah, I remember. I was like, I can't even remember what it was. Yeah, I can't even remember what it was. That's so funny.
Yeah.
Dude. That's so funny, dude. What are you toking on tonight?
Well, this is just a cigar. YouTube. But it is some Dottie Burger.
Oh, Donnie
Cigar,
Burger.
Dottie Burger cigar.
Nice. That a boy. And how's it token?
Very nice. Very nice. It's got the burger flavor. Very GMO-y, funky, nasty. What are you consuming this evening, my friend?
I've got some Booba Kush. Some Booba Kush.
Booba.
Yes.
The
And
Booba.
it is actually giving me like some full Kush vibes. You know, that you and I talked about this, but some spice and some outdoorsy kind of forestry pepper. Yeah, it really slaps. It's really
You gotta
good
know
too.
Kush to know that description.
Yeah, you're right.
You got to have experienced the Kush to understand that flavor, dude. And it's like this day and age is hard to say that anybody will. They gotta almost know somebody.
Yeah. There's
You
a
know,
lot of.
everything's getting muddied.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. Yeah, I was gonna say that. There's a lot of mix, a lot of hybridities going on. That and not only that, dude. There's a lot of tomfoolery too. A lot of people saying I got some cushery and they ain't got nothing.
They are lying about things, and I don't like it.
Mhm.
I don't like it. There's a lot of weird things going on, dude. When it comes to the whole space, you're talking about descheduling, rescheduling, schedules of this plant.
Mhm.
Dude, I do some work with some MSOs. I know it sucks, but I got to pay my bills, and YouTube doesn't pay good. So I got a couple clients that I do marketing consultation for, and the chatter amongst everybody is a consolidation of MSOs, right? This is the big players coming together and forming one organization of evil, potentially, where they can buy up the mom and pop shops, and they have way more buying power, way more spread across states with licenses, consolidation, and it'll get to the point where these people all control the fucking market. And these people also are friends with the president and the government and big pharma.
Mm-hmm. And do you think that's a coincidence?
It's a little bit bizarre that things are changing as rapidly as they are, and then the players that are popping up in the genetic game, in the patent game, so to speak, in licensing, and all of a sudden it's now being changed federally. It's like, these MSOs seem to be getting an upper hand, and all of a sudden, magically, the laws are shifting in their favor. It's weird.
Imagine that, dude. I know, brother. It's
Weird,
like, dude, I literally just did a video about the fact, literally the THC conspiracy, like the fact that we know that THC is one of the most it's the most studied, but it's also the most consequential cannabinoid, meaning that we know that psychosis, for example, it's a well-known documented fact that those with psychosis have who have a predisposed condition of psychotic tendencies. THC can spark that. And yet the main push from everywhere is THC, high THC. And it's like,
isn't it?
yeah, why are we pushing that? Why are we pushing? Well, why are we just pushing that? It's like, I almost feel like now, especially with that High Times article, it's like now it's like, well, wait a second. THC is actually bad for you. Let us help you.
Yeah, and I think that's where it's the overabundance. You know what I'm saying? This is where it can potentially like push our endocannabinoid system out of whack. We're not getting the full entourage effect, and we're getting that narcotic dumbed down. And this is where the dumb stoner, the easily manipulated stoner comes in, not the dude from Cabin Fever who wasn't able to get fucking hit with the pheromones and everything. Not that guy, because he was smoking good shit. I'm talking about the one who's got some 35% THC bullshit tumble trim from the dispo. That guy or gal now thinks that, oh man, I'm not doing anything crazy, I'm not doing any of this. It's another form of manipulation, in my opinion. It's to dumb down society, to have us in a mental state where we need pharmaceutical, regulation, and we need a counter drug to go with it. It's just another money-making thing. They realize they're like, we can't totally take this. And UCLA just got $7+ million for a grant for synthesized cannabis studies, right? And they're also working with some of these MSOs. So it's weird that they're all looking at, and specifically for THC, synthesized THC. So it's bizarre that all these players are coming in and working together right as bills are changing. And it's going to be so much easier for them to grab the market because they have bills that go with science, that goes with the president, that goes with everything. And then the FDA pushing that you can't have THC or CBD in any supplements. So it has to be pharmaceutical. Has to be. It's fucking weird, man. It's weird,
dude. And why
do rag tight, dude? I don't trust nothing.
Nope. And why would any company be investing in synthetic cannabinoids right now when there's such a heavy lean towards legalization? States are already legalizing, and it's like, why then would you want to have a synthetic one when you have access to the actual one?
Well, I think that's where it's at pushing people far in the realm of exceeding your THC capacity, for one, but then for two, the shelf life of flower and of rosin and any products is short. So if they can synthesize it, they can sit on the shelf at CVS or any other place forever. And that's a big thing in my opinion. But also they can add other shit into it.
That's what I was gonna say, dude. That's what I was gonna say.
Tobacco, bro.
Mm-hmm. They can add shit.
Weird.
Yeah.
Even with alcohol, man. Like the regulations, when you look at like somebody who has grain alcohol that they made locally, the effect that you have. I mean, it's the same with like higher price alcohol, but it's like the cheap shit that the masses get have this narcotic psychosis effect to keep us all in this fucking zombie state, dude. And it's like, as people are waking up, they're like, all right, cool, wake up to this other drug, wake up to this other drug. And they're putting things into the party drugs somehow, some way. All the dealers are getting fentanyl and all their fucking drugs. And it's like, magically, this somehow is getting here. What happened to crack? It's all documented what the CIA did with crack. So yeah, why would it not be with this?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't know, bro.
And what better way to have people dumb down than just pushing nothing but 30+% THC to people and that don't know otherwise, and try not, and give evidence to those that are against this plant, particularly those that point at psychosis, to say, hey, look, whoa, look what's happening with this. Everyone's
going crazy.
Yeah,
They're creating a fire and that they want to put out. That's how America does it, at least. That's how most of the big corporations do, is they start the fires that they could put out. They say, damn, look at that fire. Well, we have the solution.
Yep.
We could put this shit
out. We'll do it for you. Don't worry.
Want.
We'll save you guys.
It's like, but you just created the fire. Like, yeah, well, the fire's here now. What do you want us to do? Okay, government, we need you to come and help us. Nah,
yeah.
I got water.
I'll put it out myself.
I got water.
I'll put it out by myself. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, dude.
Dude, not to mention the amount of takeover by foreign agents, dude. The amount of seizures of Asian product, like Asian influenced product, whether it was they're using legal avenues, but it's completely funded by China. And it's like, what?
I mean, this is just but it's like we're probably doing the same shit in America. I don't know what Canada's doing really. Maybe mom's really the government. And
well, did you actually, as a matter of fact, did you not hear Blacklist on Dopaziola? Blacklist on Dopaziola. She said that the problem with American weed is Canada, because we're pumping so much shit into the U.S. that's garbage and ... So maybe Mexico isn't the or in Mexico maybe isn't Asia not the people.
Where the fuck does she get her numbers from? I've never gotten any Canadian weed. We grow our own weed here.
We tell that's what we're trying to tell you, dude. The reality is we were convincing you that it's local weed.
And it's this fucking Canadian shit. I knew it was a little mapley.
Yep.
Black maple.
Yep.
Motherfucker.
Yep. Got him.
It was Canadian. It wasn't even Boston Roots and Bloom Seed Co.
Next thing I know, he's gonna be wearing flannel.
I know. I'm like, hey, bud.
Hey there, bud. Oh, fuck.
You want ice station? See, and it's like when you look at where the market's at, dude, the information that we get, of course, everybody could have the logical fallacy that I don't see it, so it doesn't exist. It's not affecting me, so it's not real. I've never heard of anyone who's done it. Doesn't happen. However, I'm sure there's cases of this in prohibition states, because I've got buddies here in Michigan who are still trapping heavy, and I'm like, how are you making money? They're like, Instagram, bro. And I'm like, what? Like, Instagram, then Telegram, then gram it up. And I'm like, that's brilliant, but that's crazy. And they're like, yeah, dude, just every state, prohibition states. It's like people don't just drive over the state line to get it. Like, nope, I sell it to the dude who's trapping it out there. And it's just, it happens consistently. And it probably happened with somebody in Canada. That's where that, what is it? Kid Cannabis, that fucking movie. The dude was he was jumping the border to Canada and grabbing all this shit there and bringing it back here in America. So, I mean, who knows? BC Buds, people love it.
It has to, man. It has to. America's a pretty large market, and to assume that Canada wouldn't be tapping into it in some sense would make total sense to me, you know.
Well, we've become more of a consumer. We've always been, but more than ever than agriculture. You know, and unless somebody can make big money with it, they don't want to grow it. And a lot of times the dude who's a good salesman isn't a good grower. And a lot of times the dude who's a good grower isn't a good salesman. He's too busy tending to his fucking plants. So it becomes this thing where you either are stagnant in your trap or you work with somebody else. And most likely that salesman is finding better margins from Canada because the overflow, you know?
Well, you already know the quality of weed and the abundance of it here is crazy, dude.
Dude, it was so cheap too.
Yeah.
At retail.
Yeah, retail.
At retail. So imagine wholesale. And again, I mean, it makes sense when you think in that case, in the aspect that the upper hand of legalization, states that now are dispersing to prohibition states have only been legal for so long, as where Canada, the whole fucking country has been legal. So it's like the overages have been more abundant in a place where you've had so much more access to growing anywhere the fuck you want.
Yeah, dude. And it's like when people are like, when I got friends that I'm like, yo, you gonna start growing? They're like, nope. I was like, what? It's legal now.
They got a fucking YouTube channel and they get free grow equipment and shit and genetics.
Yeah, right.
What's the point,
They're
dude?
like, nope. I was like, oh, okay. He's like, I get so much for nothing, man. And why would I add all that extra work? And it's like, low key, I kind of get it. You know, you can buy ounces around here for like $70, some really good shit. And you know, it's like, it's tough. Now, don't get me wrong. I, as a home grower myself, I would argue that I think you should still grow your own, because $70 an ounce is nice, but you grow your own, you can still get it a lot cheaper than that.
And it'd be a lot cooler if you did. You're a pussy if you don't, is what I've heard that.
I've heard that.
Somebody told me that, my mentor.
It's written in the Quran.
420.
I got it from the Quran. Yeah.
Yeah, him too, yeah. I just think and Bret Hart also, a Canadian legend.
Royalty, in fact, dude. Yep.
Royalty, yes. This family is royalty. You're correct about that.
Yeah.
It's just, it boils down to something, in my opinion, and this is where I said it on my stream on Twitch. I talk my shit sometimes there, but I burn it after reading, so nobody can fucking see it.
Can't
so this
see it.
maybe
ROBCLTV over on Twitch.
Don't come there. Maybe it didn't happen.
You're going to go.
But I'm just saying, if you people in the chat, I see you, Raj. I see a few of you, believe it or not, through these glasses. However, a lot of people who are these critics these days have never really touched the fucking plant. They've just been middlemen trap boys. They've gotten a pack that their buddy has renamed because it didn't sell in the market. They've touched shit that was light dep or that was pulled early or that was fucking speed dried. They have no idea, and they are dictating the market and telling people what's hot and what's not, and putting strains against each other and saying this one's better than that one. It's like, brother, you're a custy. Even if you were a trapper at the end of the day, you were a customer, my friend. You were never a farmer. And say it is what it is. I said it to Adam Mill too. I said, you're a sommelier, you know your shit, you get it there, but there's something different about producing the fucking plant.
Yeah.
I feel like it's the case.
It's the truth. It's the truth. There is something about it, because the reality is like, as you follow that plant all the way through, and you get, it's intimate, man. You start to understand the maturity of it, the biology of it, the way it reacts to light,
genetics, phenotypes, fucking so much shit.
Yep. And then you get pissed off. You get pissed off when you see people pollen chucking or calling shit that what it's not, or, you know, faking, and, you know, just the weasels, you know, the reality of it.
The weasels, man, weasels and snakes, dude,
and
scrunchy face snakes even. Like, it's what it is when it comes down to appreciating the plant. And that's why I think we all are so opinionated about legalization, about where things are going with the laws, the government infiltrating into our fucking community, is because of that, because the passion for the plant. We've gotten so intimate with this shit that it's like we call them our babies, our girls, you know what I'm saying? Naming plants separately, like having genetics for years. Like Headbanger is a part of my fucking life. It's a part, been through good and bad, ups and downs, like fucking the start of my channel to now. It's like, I don't know, man. There's certain things about it that you just don't get unless you've grown the fucking plant. Even if you don't grow now, you just grow it outside, touch that motherfucker. I want to see you grow the clone to the home all the way through.
Yeah. Yeah. You want to soak it up, man. And I'll be straight with you. There's connoisseurs out there that are like the smokers that can find a level of description and find a level of appreciation for the smoke that I think is worthwhile. You know, I think they give a very good representation of the overall product. There's a lot of valid statements or use, like I personally am thinking like guys like Drew is sharing. Drew is sharing doesn't grow,
100%.
Doesn't grow at all, and wouldn't understand. I'm not going to say wouldn't understand. Right. He just doesn't grow. So if someone hasn't done something before, it's safe to say they probably just don't. They lack that experience. I'm not trying to throw any shade here, but I know somebody will take it this way because it's incredible how people take words out of context. Excuse me. However, he brings something to the table on his level of knowledge on good quality smoke, and he knows his shit too. The guy knows his genetics, right? There's nothing to say that you could take anything away from that, right? I think he has skills in connoisseur. What's sommelier? What's it called?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like just like Adam Mill, he's a sommelier essentially. Like
right. You said it. You said that.
He's
That's why I thought
the guy who can go to the farmer. And it's like the one who picks out the silk for the fucking outfits. You know what I'm saying? Like the one, your tailor that goes to the specialist who has these things. Like those are the Adam Mills. Those are the proper doinks. Those guys are fucking killing it. Like they have this consumer side. But then there's something different when we talk about head to head of two strains, or understanding why one's better than the other, or claiming one is better than the other. I like how Drew is sharing just does like his overall opinion on this was my experience on this strain. The flavor this, look this, affect this, overall this. Perfect. I think that makes great sense because it's just a subjective personal review of a product. But to rank it, I mean, I said it in my breeder video. I was like, this is just my opinion, just my experience. I've grown for 20 fucking years and I still am just a dude with an opinion. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like my opinion weighs heavier than a guy who's just like, I've smoked these from my plug, or I bought these from a dispo. It's like, dude, even the dispo rename shit. And I'm telling you, I know for a fact I have clients who do it. Franklin Fields does it.
We know this happens. This isn't.
It was called another orange Skittles, and now it's called orange candy.
Yep, dude. The whole medical program up here in Canada, they renamed the genetics. I asked why, and they said it's because they're trying not to scare the average person. When you've got genetics like green crack or baby shit, you don't want to try to sell that to an 80-year-old woman or whatever. I'm just kind of picking my demographic here, but the reality is like people are changing the genetics names, and that just waters things down entirely. You know, you're gonna have a real conversation about a genetic that doesn't even exist, right?
Yeah. Well,
Right?
let's look at the names, popular genetics that were phenotypes that people, Gorilla Glue number 4. How many people say they just picked up seeds of Gorilla Glue number 4? How did you pick up seeds of a phenotype? Does nobody think about that when they say it? Like they're getting ripped off? Motherfuckers are lying. And this is just the game, is people will rename stuff what's hot. They'll fucking discard what's not. They'll claim they have something that they don't, and it might be similar to it, but the issue is somebody tries it. I'm a prime example of it, man. I did pick and mix seeds from fucking Royal Queen Seeds, and I got like sour diesel and chem dog and all these fucking green crack, and they weren't really what they were. So I thought these strains were mids when I first started growing. I was like, bro, my plug lied to me. That wasn't sour diesel all these years. Sour diesel's ass, and it wasn't. It was just shitty genetics renamed, and that could skew your whole perception of a whole category. You're like, I hate gassy weed, but you've been smoking lemon shit the whole time.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's like, what do you really know? What do you
Yeah,
really
exactly. It's you only know if unless you have that time to really get involved with the plant. It takes a lot of time to do it. It's and you could even be on that person on the dispo level who touches that many packs, who's really that into the shit. I get it. There's still something different because you don't know where that fucking grow came from. And even if it says the name on there, it probably isn't.
That's
You know what I'm saying? It just isn't the case.
when somebody is like, the only way I can really know these things is just by collective description, right? The way the community figures things out, because we were talking about the Kush earlier. The only way I know that the real true description of a Kush is because that is the collective understanding of, right? Then you need to smoke it to really understand it. You might even describe it slightly different yourself, but it's like, then I know. It's the same thing with GMO. It's like the collective way people describe just the rankiness, just that pungent funk of
there's no denying.
There's no denying. And it's just like, woof. It's like, wow, it's nasty. And that's exactly what I got. And if anyone says I have a something GMO cross and I don't taste that funk, it's not. I don't think.
Well, and that's the thing is it's one of those if you know, you knows, and it's tough in the game, in the community game, because community versus mainstream are two different things. We're a community, and as the community goes mainstream, it's like how UFC went, man. When it was small and underground, it was this fucking collective of just like, I don't know, man, passion and enthusiasts and good fights and energy that was different. And then as it went mainstream, it's like a shell of itself. It's random dudes. It's fucking Apex Center bullshit. It's just not what it was because it got so big. And I think that's where cannabis is getting. We can't help, but as it grows more, it has to reach the masses more. It has to sit on the shelf longer. It has to appeal in a bag more. A sweet smell is going to be more attractive than a nasty smell. Period. I mean, when I say it smells like armpits or fucking ass or anything, like, no person is gonna jump for joy for that.
A
Like,
lot
"Ew,
less.
why do I want that?"
A lot less.
Unless they try it and then they'll be like, "Oh,
Yeah, a lot less. Because it's like, I'm trying to think of like a food. Have you ever had a durian? A
DeLorean?
A
Durian?
durian fruit.
A fruit.
Those like
No,
big
none of the
spiky
above.
ones.
The
the one that smells like dead bodies or whatever."
Yeah.
ass, brother.
I've heard about
Ass.
it. Never had it.
But
Heard
guess
about
what?
It. Wouldn't
Guess
do it.
what? Ass, dead bodies, just carcass nastiness. But you can still buy those sons of bitches at a grocery store. You know why? Because people do eat them. People or do something with them. Attract hordes of fucking crow. I have no idea. But it's like there's going to be a market out there for it. It's just going to be a lot less than people who are ordering bananas.
I think it's because somebody tried it first and they didn't know. It's like the old school smokers. We smoke skunks, we smoke diesels, we smoke chemicals, we smoke more
100.
nasty stuff. So that's what we knew as bud. You know what I'm saying? Like that was our first experience. So like I really do think a lot of us tie a nostalgia, our palate as a nostalgia palate because our first experience was with a nasty gritty herb, brickweed, or with something diesels or just the grosser stuff, so to speak, to the masses. As we're now, somebody who starts out is having a runts or gelato or a sherb or something in a savory sweet realm. So their idea of good bud is never, their gas is never going to be gas. It's going to be sweet. It's going to be zesty, maybe it's going to be candy. And I think it's okay, but it's something I'm just starting to wrap my head around when I'm like, I go into a dispo and all my favorite shit's on the bottom fucking shelf most times. I'm like, what? What disrespect is? Like, I'm mad almost. I'm like, how's the GMO on the bottom shelf? And the front is number one.
It's a tailored taste, right? I also feel like,
and it's
I also feel like
what it
too,
is.
like when we were young, we were kids, it was like when you described herb, it was skunk, dude, skunk. Like whenever someone hits a skunk, it's like
skunk.
Right. So
You
when
drive
I
by a skunk, you think there's a grow there.
naturally, if I came across a plant that smelt like skunk, or you know, I come across a plant or a smoke that had a skunk aroma or taste, it was like, whoa, this is weed, dude. This is weed.
Exactly.
That's how I always interpreted it. So it's like the funkier, nastier, skunkier stuff you get, that's the weed you want. And then you over time, I've grown to appreciate the sweeter sides of things. Like you can still get some good sweets and still get high, right? Or I want to be careful how I phrase that. Too late now for YouTube. Anyways, moving on.
Still have it hits you. Yes,
That's it. The same hit, the same effect, right?
Allegedly, these are what we're talking about. Grand Theft Auto
Hypotheticals,
role-playing. It's not even
theoreticals,
real things.
role playing.
YouTube.
That's right. It's
It's
AI.
AI. Thank you. Get in my head.
You get in my head.
I'm wearing protection. How you still getting in my head? What the fuck is going on?
I'm wearing protection too, dude.
Get out of my head.
On all levels.
Because you two are joined at the hip.
I think that's what it was. There's something we didn't know at a certain point. I'm the same age as you and I don't know it, or you're the same age as me and you don't know it.
That's we're
something
stuck.
happened,
We're
dude.
figuring it out.
Twins.
We're twinning. We're twinning, dude, with full protection, dude. But
I don't know,
speaking of protection, how about that cease and desist from James Loud to Mr. Todd McCormick? Did you hear about that, dude? It's a rhetorical question.
yeah, crazy that factual information could be lumped in as defamation in any sense, because it can't, according to the law in America at least.
Yeah.
So it's weird that he'd send that, and also basically admit to guilt, dude. Because before that, I was like, I'm hoping. Fuck James Loud, clip it, ship it, send it.
Yeah, dude.
How are you gonna send a cease and desist to Todd and not just come out and say, hey, let's jump on a call? I have a podcast.
They used
Todd,
to
why don't you come on
chum,
my
dude.
podcast and I'll show you my fucking paperwork and show you I didn't say shit. I was in a case with the DEA. I have paperwork showing what happened. But he didn't.
Yeah, they used to chum, dude. They used to chum. It's not even like they were strangers and
Used to be
never
his
talked.
dog, he was in his left titty, dude.
And so it's like, yeah, you get a cease and desist for talking about real information, man. And it's like, wow, bro, I just really couldn't understand how it's the Streisand effect is really what's happening right now. And I couldn't understand how you didn't know that was going to happen. How did you think that this would not get talked about?
That's the whole term of skeletons in the closet.
I suppose.
You know?
Yeah, you think they're hidden?
That's the whole term. He put them skeletons in the closet. And like my thing is everybody has their past. They've done shit. When I was younger, I did stupid fucking shit. When you were younger, you did stupid fucking shit. I never snitched on a motherfucking soul. Okay?
Nope.
And I could put that one on my kids.
Yep.
On my whole family, on God. Dead ass. No cap, dude.
Oh, skibidity.
And now if you're somebody who's in this space and you had that kind of character to do nefarious shit and bend and bust your buddies in that same sense, allegedly, don't fucking sue me.
Yeah.
In that case, that just shows that you have no spine as a character and a person. I don't like you in this community. There's already enough weasels, scrunch-faced snakes, and now we got loudmouths. So I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
Pretty insane. No, that's kind of a universal opinion. The reality is that I just don't think really James took it into full consideration that this wasn't going to go away and that you're only going to amplify it. And I think now he's kind of forced his own hand to give like a formal statement in regards to how's he going to move forward from this? It's just
Say something.
I don't know, man.
Even Dr. Disrespect had accusations of grooming, and this motherfucker came out and said something.
Yeah.
How the fuck is it?
Yeah. I
just
don't
don't
know how you
understand how
remain
somebody
silent.
who's like, yeah, bro, kind of guy, not just gonna be like, yo, I'm no fucking snitch. Here's what happened. Or even like, hey, I fucked up. This was a case of this dude was doing bad shit and we got him out of here. People are still going to be like, hey, whatever. But cease and desist? That's bitch ass.
It's a little extreme. It seems a little extreme. Especially, again, I feel they used to chum. They used to vibe. They used to just relax, or not relax. They used to be friends, I guess. So
They used to relax at the pubs.
In the hot tub. But
what? They used to do hot tub stuff. No Diddy. Nothing weird.
Yeah, dude. It's kind of insane. And so to see Todd putting it out online was kind of a no-brainer for him. I think that was the best way to do it because the public has access to the information. You can look up and see the final ruling in the case of him distributing 40,000. This is from the case. 40,000 fake Xanax pills. And someone in my comments was like, "Fake you can't be charged for a narcotic if you're selling a fake Xanax pill." I was like, "That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life." You can
if he was selling it as that the whole time, and that's what it was as, and then but they tested it and it was fake. That can't be his that can't be his legal.
Sorry, I thought I was selling M&Ms. No.
Got him.
No,
I don't know.
I don't know either. But the reality is that I feel like it wasn't the right way to go about it, man. 40,000 pills busted in a pullover, and then only given. I can't remember. It was 12 months or 3 years of house arrest.
House arrest?
Yeah, and probation.
I got a year of house arrest for a fight in seventh grade.
$500 fine. Isn't that insane?
For a fist fight in seventh grade, I got a whole fucking year of house arrest tether.
Yeah.
Yeah,
dude.
7th grade fist fight.
That's insane. It is. Yeah, and to think, there's people that were in the comments section of that video that were like, I've done X whatever crime and got 10 years or whatever. They've got these ridiculous examples. And I'm like, wow. Now, it's going to be different in each state and so on and so forth. So it's really tough to say. But.
And why would he be Ked Loud? I don't know. Why do people have it become their middle day, bro?
Yeah,
unless you did some nefarious shit and you don't want to be looked up. Why are you going by your middle name? What are you, Ashton fucking Kutcher, bro? What is really going on, dude?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. But what a great way to tarnish a relationship or a reputation. A reputation.
For us, yeah. Another one who won't like us.
Yeah. Well, oh, yeah. Whoops. Yeah. Whoops. Another one. Add him to the list.
I don't want to, dude. Add him to anybody the list. I don't want to be around those fucking people, dude. I'd rather we burn those bridges so they don't fuck with us. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you hope so.
Personally.
You hope so.
Dude, another little bit of tea, right? A little bit of tea for your P.
Hit me up.
P for your T.
I got P.
I heard the owner of Fast Buds and Sebastian were going at her. He was talking shit about Sebastian to Sebastian in the American Autoflower Cup Discord. So you might need to go dig into that and get the full story for next week.
Really? But someone go screenshot that for me. If they know what you're talking about, go screenshot that or it'll all get deleted.
Yes.
If you know if you already know, go screenshot that so I can get. Yeah. Okay, I didn't know.
Screenshot that now. We need this right now.
Yeah, people delete stuff too because I mentioned a story of some haters and it just so happened that there was a second rendition of that video that just left out certain parts. I thought, oh, how convenient. How convenient. How convenient. So that's just it,
dude. It's just wild the amount of infighting and weird shit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, for the past I don't know how many years, we've been collectively trying to bring content creators together, brands together, the viewers together, people together for all this shit, this weed stuff we do, you know. But for some reason, there's people in here who see this as a very easily monetizable space, and oftentimes they're not really about the weed. And then when somebody disagrees with them, they shit them out, they get rid of them, they shun them away, or they disrespect them, or they badmouth them on the internet a bunch. And it seems, personally, and I don't want to get sued by Fast Buds, but it seems that they're kind of maybe a little bit intimidated by what Sebastian's doing. And maybe that's where some of this comes from, personally.
Well, they did. I did a clarification epi. Or not a clarification, an update epi. Because I did get a response back, or I think you know this, from Fast Buds, And they said it was 100% because he was starting his own genetics, starting his own thing, and they didn't really want him to use their platform to kind of launch that. And I thought that was fairly
And
reasonable.
they didn't want his genetics, eh?
They
didn't want to do a collaboration.
Well, I don't know. I guess that wasn't the
You
first
think they
thing that
would've
was
had
mentioned.
A Sebastian strain, a Chubb strain.
People don't think like we do, though.
Well, that's right. I forget because they're fucking selfish and greedy.
Everyone's trying to make that buck, dude. Yeah. So it's like nobody wants to collab. They just it's all for one or one for none.
You can still make a buck and collaborate, honestly. And I can speak for from the stash. You could probably make more bucks collaboration with
is
your
king.
competitors.
Yeah, collaboration is king, and we know this, and it's not how it gets.
Yeah,
not how it gets figured out, and it sucks. It sucks to see that guys like Loud are taking avenues like that in regards to not collaborating, dude. We're infighting. You said it, bro. We're wasting
opposite. Yeah,
energy.
it's infighting. That's what the government wants, dude. They'll have us destroy each other first.
Yep. And it's
crazy.
Like we're wasting
United
time.
We stand.
Yep, we're wasting resources, man. We're wasting resources.
Well, but if you're a snitch or a thief or a fucking rat or those kind of things, maybe we don't need to collaborate with you though. There's a part of a line that's drawn.
Yeah, no.
In the organic soil.
One of those things, maybe it's like a personality trait or something, but for me, it's like relationships are like light switches. And I say this to my wife all the time. It's like I am really
listen, baby. I'll shut it off.
I'm really good at just flick, just turn it off. And it's like I've had to do it with my parents. I've had to do it with people who I thought were friends, and they steer you wrong, man. And it's like the famous saying, not by President Bush, but it's you screw me once, shame on you. Screw me twice, shame on me, right? And I'm not going to let that happen. You screw me once. There's so many people in my inner circle that haven't screwed me at all. Why would I second chances are very hard to give for me. That's really what I'm trying to say. So it's like, I just much rather work with those that have showed me no issue and nothing but support and love continuously rather than collaborate with those that just don't.
Yeah, I'm big on forgiving, but I'm not big on forgetting.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I remember shit. I hold shit for years. I told you I just met up with that breeder that ripped me off 7 fucking years ago for $600. And it wasn't even a full rip off, it was a partial rip off. He made it up to me, gave me some kind of dookie weed, to be honest with you. Wasn't good.
Okay.
And some genetics though. But made up with me. But I'm keeping at this range.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep him at this range, just like anything, dude. And it's like in this space, it's like we've been in Hollywood, dude. And shout out to all the viewers, you lovely folks who are watching and listening. You guys haven't seen it on the back, and we were like, why is it fucking drama? Why is TVP? Why does this even exist with this shit? It's like, dude, there's a lot of shit that should be out there and exposed where people are giving their hard-earned fucking money to people who barely even grow or don't smoke for shit or don't care about the plant, who are literally behind the scenes say, I don't give a fuck, they're idiots. Like, just crazy, dude. Like, this is the kind of thing where I'm talking to these viewers in my fucking chat. We're hanging out like homies. I can't just let them get ripped off and be okay with that. Even with brands doing stuff, dude. Brands sending expensive ass products broken and making you have to send 1 million fucking pictures. I'm not going to say who it is because it's your platform, but son of a bitch, it pisses me off when I see and hear that. This is stuff that it's on our reputation. We've been here as long, if not longer, than most of the brands or other content creators or fucking breeders even in this space, dude. So it's like, no, man, we got to that's our duty, not to be on the front line to protect the viewers in a sense, because we're pushing this shit too, So we can't be out here just being these fucking shills for, bad breeders or bad characters or bad brands. Like, we have a duty to say something, even if it seems like fucking drama. We're grow channels, whatever. I'm gonna say something. Kiss my ass.
Yep, we got to. Well, I'll tell you, weed out the bad actors, dude. That's how you, it's just conversation is key. That's the reality, man. Because up until this point, people are able to kind of work from the shadows and do mischievous shit, man. And little do we know, these people that are the biggest advocates are also the ones that are biting the hand the hardest. There's people even within our own system that are lobbying against us. And it's like,
I know
it's just
patenting strains,
it's just insane, man. It's insane to think that that's occurring. It's like, how are we supposed to get forward if we're constantly just moving backwards, right?
Well, it's taking the tactics what corporations and government have done and just putting it into this space, into the one that we thought was so sacred and pure and that nobody would touch because we're just the weed people. We're the Woodstock happy people. It's like, this is Woodstock 99 now is what this is. People are fucking Limp Bizkit burning shit. Burning this motherfucker down, Pookie.
Burn it
And
down.
it's one of those things where it's like you gotta get yours in a sense, and I get that. But there's more longevity in community and helping each other. I lose a strain, somebody still has it. I can find it. I lost Headbanger. Somebody emailed me a link to find it on a website. Got it. Got in contact with Karma Genetics. Fucking after years, dude. Like, but that's community shit. There's a dude. Shout out to X Factor, man. His fucking house burnt down years ago. I wish he would have been more vocal because we could have done some cool charity shit for him since now and then. But at one point, there was a kickback with the community doing a GoFundMe with him and another person. He's got a bunch of grow equipment. He's coming back and seeing his name pop up in the chat. I'm like, this is my dog. This is family. Like, you don't get that in any other niche that I've seen other than this cannabis space. So it's just, the heart's still there, but there's somebody who's constantly trying to light this motherfucker on fire constantly. And it's just, we got to put it out. And just understand you don't get paid for it. We just got to kind of deal with it and just be like, yeah, well,
deal with it and move on, man.
It is.
Deal with it and move on, right? Slight pivot, dude. What do you think about, I brought this up and it's kind of like it's more so a conversation where I want to like hash out where do you think we draw the line on. And there was a motion or a case that was being put before I don't know if it was the Supreme Court or the court in regards to firearms. It was the Supreme Court, the Hani case. I'm trying to think of his last name, but I can't.
The gun case?
Yeah, the gun case. Yep. In regards to whether or not cannabis consumption can be enough to remove your right to the Second Amendment.
Can alcohol consumption?
Well, in fairness, yes. Right?
But I mean, just in general, like if you're under the influence, yeah, okay, you shouldn't have your gun. So if they catch me under the influence, and what tests are finding that yet? You know what I'm saying? My THC levels are fucking through the roof. They've been since juvie, dude. I literally had to stay an extra 30 days. I shit you not, bro, to make sure that my THC levels were low enough that they can measure the decline of the levels. Because it was so fucking high as a child. So as an adult, if they test me now, I swear to God, dude, it was the crazy shit. I was like, what? I'm clean. They're like, no, you're still dropping dirty on the lab test. I was like, no way. I've been here 90 days. And like, guess what? You're staying until you drop clean. It was the craziest shit, dude. If this is the case of today where it's like, well, if it's up 30 days in your system, it's not just. It doesn't make sense. Now, if there's a way to have a real sobriety test, like there is with alcohol, okay, whatever. If you get caught stoned and you have your gun on you, don't get caught stoned with a gun on you, you know? Otherwise, yeah, like it's got to be treated the same, man. I don't understand that, but I guess since they're moving it Schedule 3, there's another loophole of government controls. But don't operate heavy machinery. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't like any of the fucking way that things are going because these are the arguments the government can have. Is like, well, new studies indicate that psychosis and craziness and so it's tough, man. It's tough.
It is.
Do I agree with it? No, but at the same time, it's like I can see their argument that's going to stand with the masses.
And the reality is like this is a conversation that needs to happen only because there should be a line figured out. You know, there should be a line. Someone made a comment.
Fat line ski.
Yeah, fat line skis solve all problems.
Fat line ski in the sand that these people know.
Somebody put in my comments that all rights.
Public intoxication.
No, I'm trying to paraphrase the Constitution in regards to all these rights bestowed to them by their God. I know this isn't the saying, but are inalienable rights.
Aliens
are the only thing that can take American rights. So the reality is that unless it's an alien,
They're not taking our rights.
they can't take your rights, dude. They can't take your
Those
rights.
become wrongs when they do that. That's a
That's a
wrong, is
wrong,
what they call
dude.
that.
You take a right,
If you
that's a
take my right,
wrong.
you got a wrong.
That's it. That's just basic thugonomics, dude.
This is too basic thugonomics, man. Can't fucking see me. I think that's when you look at lawyers, legal representation. That's where this is all going to come into play. Is if you're just a geek off the streets trying to earn your keep, you're probably not going to do very well. You're probably going to lose the case. But if you have good representation, yeah, there's going to be somebody who's going to fight for that. There's going to be a lawsuit against the fucking state. Sure. Just like there has been with weapons, you know, or having a gun and your First Amendment being a cannabis patient. But at the same time, the majority of us consumers, you know, at this point, I can afford a fucking attorney. Shout out to the God. Shout out to the God. Thank you, Lord. However, at one point I couldn't. So I'd represent myself and I'd lose, even though constitutionally it's not the case. Like this is where if the courts, depending where you live, are crooked enough or strong enough, if the representation you have is shit, you still could lose. It doesn't matter what the fucking laws are. You know, I've seen people lose their kids that had medical cards, and I'm like, how the fuck did this happen, bro?
Mm-hmm.
How? And you lost, and you still can't get like this kind of shit just happens sometimes. It's weird, man. It depends on the court case. Welcome to America.
Yeah.
When players play.
It is something that, you know, I think that we need to find a line on it, is kind of what I said, but it's like these are rights that are not to be taken kind of away. And to think that one could have their rights taken based on cannabis consumption is kind of insane. Now, there is a legitimate conversation to be had about one's mental health, whether or not, you know, they should have access to firearms. But at what point? At what point? Just because someone suffers from depression, someone suffers from anxiety, because let's face it, as a mass, we all suffer from some levels of all that. And
yeah, but if you can go to the doctor and can't hold your shit back enough to bypass that test, I don't want you to have a motherfucking gun, homie. I don't give a shit. Well, I'm stressed the fuck out to the nines, bro. I got all sorts of shit going on, and they're cool with me getting a piece. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So if you got some real shit going on, if you've considered, you know what, cut my life into pieces, it's my last resort. If that song resonated with you, maybe it's not time to get it. You know?
Yeah,
it's not time.
But maybe their mental health isn't. Yeah, it doesn't allow them to, you know, make that decision. That conscious
if you got that
decision.
Tupac vibe, you wake up in the morning, you ask yourself, you know, don't do it. Don't get the gun.
If you wake up in the morning feeling like P. Diddy,
maybe get it then.
Maybe you got a choice to make. All right.
If you wake up feeling like P. Diddy,
I wake up in the morning feeling like.
If you feel like that, then it's like I could get this shit. I'm good today.
I'm understandable. Yeah, I'm understandable, dude.
Yeah.
No, I don't think.
Totally got that energy. Bro.
You and I know are on the same page when it comes to consumption and guns. We're both enthusiasts on both realms. We're gonna go on a hunting trip. We're gonna go on a good hunting trip one of these days, brother. It's gonna be a joyous occasion.
Dude.
Gay old
Kill
time.
us a fucking something, dude.
Yeah, dude.
And eat it.
Eat
You gotta split the heart like a boss.
Yep.
Live on Twitch.
Right here, blood on the face.
Blood on the face. I'm gonna put it.
Yeah,
you gotta.
You gotta give it the schmear. Yeah, the schmear.
100%, dude. As a man, that's the only way you do it for your first kill. Now you already got one, but you're not with me.
Nope. No, I haven't. And dude,
So
that would be my second.
One.
That would only be my second if I got another one.
It'd be your second alone,
but you haven't.
But you weren't.
You haven't had a hunting experience?
Nope. I've sadly, unfortunately, had to kill an animal in the animal dying situation, which is I don't even talk about it. It was horrible.
You don't have to.
But yeah, all right. He's like, all right. I was wanting to tap into that, but all right.
Okay, you say you didn't want to. I didn't want to push you. No pressure.
Like,
no pressure.
Let's get into it. It's not.
Let's not.
The aspect of killing for food and hunting is totally different. I'm into that. And because I smoke now, I can't have that. Fucking crazy, bro.
Yeah.
How the hell does that make any sense? Now, if they're talking, I can't run around with the fucking blicky with the extendo on her and the balls. Maybe. Okay, whatever. I can't live like I'm in fucking Chirac. Okay. Maybe. However, you know, I think realistically when it comes to hunting rifles, when it comes to self-protection in your home, everybody should be entitled to that shit, man. We can't trust the fucking government these days with nothing. These are just rich dudes. and rich chicks who are crazy and out of
On an
touch with
island.
everything. They're and on an island and shit, dude. They're regular ass people who are elites. They're not some fucking special. It's weird, dude.
I know.
It's weird. And
It's
times are fucking weird, dude.
yeah, dude. Yeah, they are fucking weird, dude. And I can't believe it myself because it's just like the fact that we even have this kind of conversation is kind of insane. But you know, to kind of tie it into the gun conversation a little bit, it's like there needs to be some conversation because we have to be able to come to a happy medium because there has to be some resolution, right?
Oh yeah,
And
there's got to be a compromise somewhere.
if we just leave it up to our island practitioners, then it's not going to end well for us, the little people, the sheeple, you know.
100%.
So
100%. I think that's if we don't have those conversations, we let people who don't have any fucking clue have these conversations in the middle of the night and make votes that we have nothing to do with. You know what I'm saying? Unless it's out there in the public eye and there's some distress from the community towards these fucking politicians, nothing changes, nothing happens. It just is what it is. Even if it seems like nothing changes, it takes time, enough pressure on these motherfuckers' necks, and they start to listen.
Yep. Get your final thoughts, dude. I covered a story right at the beginning in regards to the deschedule. I know you kind of just briefly touched on it at the very beginning. Do you think it's actually going to happen? I mean, in the time frame that they say, like, do you believe that the way this is going?
I think homie just doesn't want any pictures of him sucking anybody's dick go out publicly. So he's doing whatever he can. He's like, yo, fucking,
Weed.
Bomb Iran, fucking, alien files? What about alien files?
Oh, yeah.
Fucking weed. Canadian dude did the weed shit. They voted for him. Fuck Canadian guy. Weed. It's like, we'll see. This is another, I don't know. I don't believe
Smoke and
shit,
mirrors.
dude. Smoke and mirrors, man. I don't think shit's going to change. He'll see. This is a leak to the press to see what the overall testing of the feeling is, how people feel, and if the reactions are crazy. I didn't even hear about this until T with P, bro. So that's how mild the fucking crowd was for that one. They're like, okay. You know, so I think they're probably gonna be like, yeah, no one gives a fuck about that. I just don't want these bitch ass files. You know, and that's really what it boils down to. Is it's one thing where people are like, weed? My gas prices, I'm paying $4.20 a gallon, bro. Fuck weed.
But it's gonna make you get over those gallons, dude.
But that's what people don't understand. That's why they need to get weed first, and then you'll understand, dude. It's not so bad, bro. And then you'll look at the gas price and be like, oh, $4.20, dude. You know?
Yeah. Hey, what do you know? Gas price is $4.20, dude. Do you think they're trying to play off some subliminal messaging here, dude? Where it's like, yeah, dude, cool. Someone's taking a picture of themselves in front of a gas station. You know it with a $4.20 price somewhere. Slightly tickled that they have that moment. But
yeah, I just think that no president's going to be able to fully let this weed go, man. The powers that be understand the powers from the tree, the sustainability from the plant, how magical this motherfucker is. And they don't want it. The elites, the Illuminati, the fucking Freemasons, whatever you want to call them, the caballers, they're never going to fully allow this to be unless they can taint it.
And they're doing so by patenting synthetic freaking cannabinoids, dude.
Yep.
Right?
And scaring everybody that THC does this and these things do this and making everybody. And then again, there's a big viral fucking push. I did a little mini video covering it. How in the Epstein files, they said people who smoked weren't as impacted by manipulation from the CIA. It's all fake. It's like, who put this shit out? Who put this misinformation campaign out to get more people to smoke? What was that about? Why is that a thing? You know, if the government does this kind of shit, they consciously put out shit to muddy up the real stuff, to get us confused, to get us to react to other things that don't make sense. And it's confusing the masses of people who think they know, me included. I'm like, all these conspiracy theories now are on CNN that I've been talking about for years with Jeff. What the fuck is going on? You know what I'm saying? Like, how does everybody know about the weird, crazy 4chan shit that only us weirdos know about? You know, it's like, there's no way that they're telling us all this shit. I just don't believe it. But then at the same time, they've got us so conditioned to not believe because they've given us so much bullshit that they can give us the real shit on a platter and be like, that's not real. It's a lie. And they're like, we're giving you they're like, nope, it's fake. I'm that guy who doesn't believe shit.
Yeah, you and I both. We wear protection when we go outside and
I always keep protection, dude.
Yep.
Before I leave the house, before I do anything.
Yep, just in case, because you never know if those are going to be inalienable rights that day.
You ain't gonna get me, aliens?
No aliens coming through
No
here,
aliens
boy.
here, friend.
Oh, dude, hell of a conversation, brother. We need to do this more often, my friend.
Yeah, it was fun, dude.
It
It
was.
was fun. I forgot we were live. I can't see the chat at all. I can't really see anything. I saw a little bit of chat,
Chat's always pulling up,
but I
dude.
can't see. These are my Stevie Wonders right here. Shout out to 808 Genetics who sent me these.
Oh,
You
shit,
can't see
yeah.
a fucking thing with them.
Oh, so you know they're
Nothing
good.
at all.
They'll be great in the garden then, dude. You know that.
Perfect, dude. I'll just be in that motherfucker Stevie Wonder. Just
Yeah.
yeah, it's beautiful.
Flock, what do you think? What do you think about more segments of Top Buds, ladies and gentlemen? I think it's a must. What does the Flock think? Mr. ROB, thank you for joining me this evening. It's an absolute pleasure as
Okay, dude.
always. Someone thought we had Theo Vaughn here. It was close. Yeah, it looks like it. You know, he's got lush
Theo
blonde hair.
Vaughn?
Yeah. Hair looks tight though. You look good.
Thank you, good. I appreciate that. I'm shining.
I encourage everybody to go check out Mr. ROB over on Twitch, ROBCLTV. You're going to check him out there. You're going to find him. But, of course, you're going to check out Cannabis Lifestyle here on YouTube. Everybody already
Don't
knows
judge me
this.
over there. I'm too raw, man. I'm no condom over there.
No, you might not like it, boy, but or you might not like it when you go over there, but you get what you get and you don't throw a fit. Is that
Don't
really
throw a
how
fit.
you say it? Because my boy
That's what I
gives me...
say to my kid. You get what you get. You don't throw a fit.
I know, and my boy's like, that doesn't even make sense.
It does. You get what you get. Don't get mad about it, dude.
Yeah,
Don't throw a fit.
I would be like, what do you mean? It's get what you get, you don't throw a fit.
You don't throw a fit. That's what it's always
You
been.
get what you get, you don't throw a fit.
Fuck, dude.
Yeah, man, we'll make it work. We're dads. That's how it is. Brother, all love. Appreciate you, dude. We're going to catch up again real soon. Thank you for being here.
Assalamu
Enjoy the
alaikum.
rest of your night. We're going to talk
Talk
soon.
tomorrow.
Mr. ROB.
Peace.
Thank you, sir. Peace. Shout out to Mr. ROB. Fast one on the buttons, dude. Appreciate you, dude. Thank you for stepping in, man. It's always a good time. It's always a time worth sending the kids out of the room because we're going to be diving into all kinds of crazy, man. If you're just getting here and or didn't know, Tea with Pete every single Thursday night. Don't forget to tune in. You're going to love it. It's 9 p.m. Central. Don't miss it. If you're subscribed on YouTube and you don't get notifications, that's unfortunately the way it is on this channel because we're one of the most suppressed channels on the internet, and we run with it. We push through. So make sure you come back and you tune in every Thursday at 9 p.m. Central. And the reason I know it's suppressed is because we posted a video just like 2 days ago. And it did relatively well. And there's at least, you can go through it, there's at least 3 comments in there that says, P, dude, I haven't seen you upload a video for years. I'm like, oh, thanks. I upload them every week, and I have uploaded every week since 2016. So, yeah, it's been 10 years, and we've been uploading pretty damn regularly. So, shout out to all the people that tune in, and you come in every week, checking in the channel, see if there's anything hot. If you really enjoy the content here, you might have to go the extra step to try to find it. But just know if you check in on the channel and you go under the videos tab and or the live stream tab, that you will see new content every single week. So live streams Thursday, 9 p.m. Central. You can tune in on Twitch as well. Twitch is a great platform to tune in on. Much better interaction in the chat. It's twitch.tv/pigeons420. If you don't believe a guy grows, head on over to Instagram. I post other people's pictures over there and pretend they're my own all the time over at Pigeons420 on Instagram. Go and check that out. I recently posted the guava root GMO by Seedsman, and dude, the smell coming off of it is like a sweet nasty. It's like it's something you want to bring home, but to the wife, and you want to show her, but at the end of the day, it's almost like it's. She leans in. She's like, "You're not wearing deodorant today?" I'm like, "Okay, I put it on yesterday." Okay, it's that kind of funk. It's almost good, but it's not. She's smiling at me because she doesn't know what I'm talking about. But the reality is I really liked it, and I think if you want to check it out up close, it's on Instagram at Pigeons420. Also, Mrs. P, if you wouldn't mind, don't go anywhere yet. There's a Discord link. If you guys would like to show off your gardens and or document your daily progress and have other people follow along with you, come on over to my Discord. Okay, hit the link, come join. It is a very, very great and interactive place for you to show off your gardens. So I have a journaling area. So if you want to show off your gardens, I encourage you to post every day. Post every day in there. And the reason I say that is because not only does it keep a great documented journal of your process that you can refer back to at any time. Oh, when did I do this? And when did I feed? When did I transplant? When did I do all this? You have a calendar right there. You're just naturally documenting it. But the best part is that people are going to interact with you. Some people who may have never grown before, maybe somebody who has never grown a particular genetic that you have, that they want to see how it grows before they purchase it. All the great reasons that people would interact. And it's a community over there. So I really encourage you to check it out. With that being said, for those journals that are not posted or done posting, they're done or they've completed posting or they're not posting and they're inactive, I'm going to remove those ones and move them to another spot so that they can still be viewed, but they're not in the active journal area. Okay. So keep that in mind. Post regularly so everybody can keep up and follow along and keep your journal well documented. You got to get Bumble. I don't know. P representing Canada worldwide. We're proud of you. Thanks, Mechanic. I appreciate it. And I talk about more American news than anywhere else. It tends to be that way because with legalization and the push, it's like cannabis news in Canada in regards to politics, legalization, reform, legislation is kind of slow. We're more focused on education and science, which are things that we talk more about. They just don't happen as frequently. We only have 13 states and provinces and territories where it's 50 in America. So it's like there's a couple more to choose from. Now, before I do head out, I wanted to show you guys a couple things. Just wanted to show one thing in particular that I wanted to show at the top of the show and I totally forgot, but I'm a stoner and I want to see it again. Was Grow Tato. What a great time to say America. Fuck yeah. As your younger but larger sister to the north, I want you to know that as a Canadian, we look upon you guys. We look up to you guys as America. You guys figured out a lot of shit before we did, and we look up to you in regards to how you portray yourself on in the world. And although sure you may stumble at times, we admire and we look up to your ferociousness and your willingness to not give up and still be badass and prominent. With that being said, if you guys tuned into, I don't even know what game this was. I wish I did. It was a MLB opening, a ceremonial opening for a baseball game. And there was this beautiful... Oh, did I not have it up, Mrs. P?
No.
Of course, but it's not far. There was this beautiful display of patriotism, to which I absolutely admired.
It's the one on your X, right?
Yeah. There was this cool, like, for those that don't agree with the flyover over, like when jets fly over an arena, I absolutely can't stand you. I think it is one of the most fucking patriotic American things that you can do, and it's you as an American pay for those items to be used, to be trained, and to be executed in. To see flyovers at I think it is fucking awesome. It's the coolest thing. Now, I didn't think a whole lot could top that. I really didn't. However, check out this display. I'm not going to show you the whole ceremony. I just want to show you this one display here. Check this out. Watch over to the right. So this is the baseball game. Turn it down just a hair. Boom! Look at that. Can you go back just a little bit? A little bit more. Just before it explodes. Look at that. So those are smoke drones. Those are smoke drones. And they dispersed a whole bunch of... You see it right there. Tell me that is not the most America fuck yeah you've ever seen.
It's gorgeous.
America, we love you. Yes. Good for you guys. I wish Canadian, not Canadians, but I wish Canadian events had this much patriotism. I think it's wholesome. I think it's amazing. And I just think it's a great way for people to be proud and to have a common bond with their fellow man over. And dude, it was just so cool. So friggin' cool, dude.
And to those in the chat apologizing for Trump, we do not hold you accountable for those actions.
Yeah. Yeah.
As a people, we do not.
Yeah. You know what? And Rob says, cost taxpayers for the MLB and the NFL to profit from, which is horrible. Horrible that they had to profit from it. However,
but it's beautiful.
It's beautiful. And at least we're not sending that shit overseas, right? Those ones are staying home for us. Well, all the rest of that shit gets sent overseas.
And in the world today, sometimes we just need some feel-good moments.
We just need some fuck yeah.
And some nice things to look at.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought it was pretty sweet. But ladies and gentlemen, that concludes another Tea with P. On behalf of Mrs. P and I absolutely love your faces. Thank you guys for tuning in, being a part of the show. Don't forget, Tea with P has its very own channel, and we're back it's Tea Time with P. Mrs. P, I'll throw a link for you if you haven't already subbed. That's where you'll find all the interviews that we do over there. And we've got a few bangers coming up over the course of the next few weeks. So if you guys are interested in that, hit that link, follow yourself to the Tea Time, and you won't be disappointed. As I mentioned earlier, Daily Tokes and Trends is posting as well every single week. So if you can't tune in to a 2+ hour live stream, come check out the clips. All the best clips, moments, and stories are going to be posted over there. Now, of course, I do encourage you to just come on and check out the live shows every single Thursday. Okay? Thursday, 9 p.m. Central. Come tune in. No show on Twitch tonight, my friends, but I will be here tomorrow night, or I will be on Twitch tomorrow night at 10 p.m. Central. Okay? I think that's the right time. 10 p.m. Central Fridays? Yes. And I could be convinced maybe a little later in the afternoon. But we shall see. I will be able to stream a lot more next week because it's spring break for my kid, and I won't have to go anywhere. Okay? And maybe we'll do some family streams over there too, where the boy and I will game out on some Rocket League or some Fortnite or something. If you guys are down for that. Yeah, that'd be fun. Fap, have yourself a great night, dude. EE, have a great night. T as well. T, thank you for the thank you for the membership too. I saw that and I appreciate that, dude. Thank you a million for that. Tasty Genetics, you have a good night, homie. I appreciate you. See you, Mechanic. See you, Growing with Gozen. See you, Sean. See you, Mechanic. Have a great Friday tomorrow, friends. See you, R-Dog. See you, Hazer. See you, Ruderalis Rex. See you, Dr. Rolfenstein. Trent, I appreciate you, dude. Thank you, man. Have a great night. Shout out to you and Lady T. See you, K-Dog. John, thanks for being here for the whole show, dude. Thanks for being here always, man. Thanks for the comments and the support. Shout out to the notification gang. They're always here right away as soon as the stream posts. I appreciate you. Chef Terps, you have a good night. Thank you, man. East Coast, I appreciate you, brother. We'll see you on Twitch. Ed, you too, man. Have a good night. Shout out to the Twitch crew. Miracle's Edge. Peace, homie. See you, Anti-20. Cheers. See you, John. John Nugs. Garden Quest. Appreciate you, dude. Keep winning, all right? See you, Terps. See you, B. Have a good night, Brina. See you, John. See you, Dank Dad. See you, B. Hendrix. B. Hendrix. Let's go. See you, dude. Have a good one. Cheryl, have a good night. I don't know what you said there, Rick Lane, but there it is. Jungle Me Method. Jungle Me Method. Jungle Method. Jungle Method. Thank you, man. Have a good night. Angel. Cheers. Guys, have a great night. Peace.
so fast, and I'm gonna take you traveling the world. I'm gonna love